Okay, so let's talk about the most basic way that you can make money on a blog, and that is with pay-per-click advertising. I'm sure that you've heard of the most common one, and that is Google AdSense. I really like pay-per-click advertising because it generally is available to anybody, regardless of the size of your blog or how much traffic you've been generating. As long as your blog is about 3 months old, you can usually be accepted with one of these pay-per-click ad networks. And the way that this works is that you put ads on your blog, on your sidebar, header, footer, or whatever. And whenever one of your visitors clicks on the ad, you get paid a little bit of money. Now the amount that you get paid per click can vary drastically sometimes. And it just all depends on how much money that advertiser has agreed to pay Google or whatever company you're working with, and then you get a percentage of that amount. Now, kind of the downside to pay-per-click advertising is that it really is dependent upon your traffic. So obviously, if you have a brand new blog, or a relatively new blog with not very much traffic, you cannot expect to make a whole lot of money on pay-per-click advertising. I mean, I think that's probably common sense. The blogs that get tens of thousands of visitors every day, those are the ones who are really going to be benefiting from pay-per-click advertising. But it's also one of those things that it's like, well, even if you don't have a big blog or don't have a lot of traffic, it doesn't hurt to put them on and see how you're going to do. Don't expect anything great, but you'll make a little bit of money. Now, you also need to be aware, though, that AdSense has a threshold that you have to meet before they'll pay out, and I think probably most of them do. If you've only made $2 that month, they're probably not going to send you a check for $2. You're going to have to meet a certain threshold, either $50 or $100 or whatever it is. So anyway, I wanted to give you some tips about AdSense. For a long time, AdSense was my main source of income on my blog, and I did relatively well with AdSense. Let's see, when I was getting about 6,500 visitors a day, I would make anywhere from about $700 to $950 a month on AdSense. And it does vary some months quite a bit, just because depending on the ads that they're running, how enticing those ads are to my visitors and stuff like that. So you can generally see a variation there. But again, 6,500 visitors, I was making between $700 and $950 a month. And that is when I was using it as my main income, my main source of income on my blog, which means that I was giving Google AdSense the premium ad spots on my blog. And let me tell you what that is. The banner ad that you have up in your header or above your header, that is your money spot. I mean, that is where you want to have an ad. If you don't put it anywhere else, put it up there, because that's the one that gets clicked on the most. Yeah, I mean, you can also put them in your sidebar, footer. Footer ads really are not going to get any attention. Don't bother with those, really, especially on a pay. Well, yeah, I don't know. You might just test it out, which is a huge topic that I'm going to cover in just a second. But yeah, the banner ad up in your header is your money maker. That's where you want to put an ad for sure, if nowhere else. Anyway, now I use something else as my main source of income, a different ad network, and I use AdSense just as kind of supplemental ads, which means that they have to be further down on my page. And with my traffic now, I guess let me think. I average about 8,400 visitors a day now. And with that, I would say that my average is about $27 a day. So you can see that it went down, especially considering that, with 6,500 visitors, I was making more with those in a premium spot Now they're not in a premium spot, I have more traffic, but my income is a little bit lower. So you can see that it all depends on placement. So let me touch on that right now. If you use Google AdSense, do not be afraid to kind of play around with the placing of your ads. Try them in one spot for a month, you know, and then and track how each one goes. If you don't use your Google AdSense channels, you need to use those. And basically that just means when you create a new ad, create a channel for it. It can be, you know, you can name it header ad or sidebar top ad or something like that. You just need to know where it's placed, and then leave it there for a month and track how well it does. The next month, maybe move them around a little bit and see if you do better that month. I mean, with pay-per-click advertising, you really do have to be willing to put some time and effort into it. Don't just stick them on there and forget it, because you might not have them optimized as well, you know, like that. You really need to be willing to put some time and effort into it, try out different things, track them and see how they work. And if something is just not working for you, move it, you know, or create a different size ad and try it, and then track it for a month and see how it does. So anyway, pay-per-click advertising I think is fantastic. I still use it. Anybody from really small blogs to huge, massive websites I've seen use pay-per-click advertising. It can benefit anybody of any size. Of course, like I said, if you have a tiny little blog that's just now starting out, you can't expect to make that much, but as you grow, your income will grow as well. So anyway, that's pay-per-click advertising.